Ladies and gentlemen, we have been informed of that the WWE Draft will be happening on April 26, 2024, and it will be the first change-up of the Paul Levesque era. So, with that being said, Triple H has knocked everything out of the park thus far, so we're going to see what else he can do to continue that just scale of monumentum, groundbreaking stuff that he's done since he took over. And in my opinion, the draft is one of those things you just have to knock out of the park. You have to truly change things this time, or there's going to be nothing worth doing a draft for. I think this is the last shot the WWE truly has at knocking one of these out. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and deep dive into the men's side of the WWE Draft for SmackDown, Raw, and NXT, because we have finally figured out that every brand is up for grabs. There will be big names moving NXT. There will be big names moving to Raw. There will be big names moving to SmackDown. So we're going to give you our breakdown on who should go where, why, and that's what we're going to be knocking out today. With that being said, we will be doing the women's aspect as well. So if you want to keep up with all the information, of course, hit that plus button. Become part of the Kraken community here as we continue to deep dive the wrestling aspect. The first of many is Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods has been doing a lot of things on social media. He's been doing a lot of things in the up, down, down on X. He's been doing a lot there. He does still have good in-ring ability. I just think since Big E has disappeared, and of course due to injury, nothing against Big E, I just don't see Xavier Woods or even the New Day gimmick working anymore. Xavier Woods could hold his own, and so could Kofi Kingston. If you want to put big names back down on NXT or switch it around to make NXT that third brand to truly just run the table of the wrestling community, well, you need to start with Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods would be a good fit, in my opinion, to travel back to the NXT brand. And not just because he's won everything there tag-wise, but he could help a lot of the young talent get to the level of being ready for the main roster. Now, of course, you may agree or disagree, and of course, that's what this is here for you to let me know what you know. Our next one is Dirty Dom. Dom needs a solo run, but he does not need to be drafted to SmackDown because of his dad, because that's just going to end in another feud there. Unfortunately, I think Dom needs to go spend some time on NXT as well. Nothing against Dominik Mysterio. Dominik Mysterio can hold his weight on Raw or SmackDown, but I think giving him more of an NXT run rather than him just going down there and winning the daggone title from West and all that like he did this past year, I think he needs a good NXT run, get some more experience under his belt. He's Dirty Dom. Hell, he's carried the company as of late anyway, just being the heel face, and then he's competed in most matches. So if he doesn't go to NXT, go to SmackDown or stay on Raw. Either way, I think NXT would be the ideal location. Gunther, the Ring General. He has just lost his Intercontinental Championship, and he needs a new kingdom to run. I think Gunther and Imperium should split, and Gunther should go to SmackDown and get a push over there. Become extremely dominant back on SmackDown like he was when he first started. Maybe go for the U.S. title, the United States, if they don't switch those around. Or even if we get one title on both, go for the big one. I mean, you have earned it at this point. You have the ability to be a undisputed World Heavyweight Champion or a WWE Champion. Either one. This man cannot go back to NXT, though, at all. So Gunther needs to go to SmackDown. Damian Priest. What needs to happen with Damian Priest is he needs to get out of the Judgment Day. And this solo run with Damian Priest, I think, will be extremely dominant for him. It will be his career-making run as champion. Of course, he won at WrestleMania. We know he's going up against Jey Uso at Backlash. So a lot of big things are coming for him. So I don't think the draft will truly take effect until after Backlash. So Send Damian Priest and keep him on Raw. That title stays on Raw because that's what it needs to be. That's the title for Raw. That's how it was introduced because of what Roman, of course, wasn't coming to Raw. We needed 2 titles. Cool. Keep Damian Priest on Raw, but get him out of the Judgment Day. Chad Gable. If he does not win the Intercontinental Championship tonight, we need to see Chad Gable go to SmackDown and get a solo run by himself. He has that ability. We have seen it. There is no reason for him to be in the Alpha Academy anymore. Otis and Tozawa, they can do their own things. Maxine, Chad needs a solo push by himself. Speaking of big Otis, you can send this man down to NXT with Tozawa if you wanted to, or he could stay on Raw and be a mid-card wrestler. I think Otis has done extremely well in his run in WWE. He's had tag matches. He's really good for a big man. Him, Ivar, Bronson Reed, they're the big meaty muscle, as they say. So where he's at, what he does is absolutely great. But he can go to NXT for a little bit if he wanted to. Depends on what they want to do. In my opinion, he could stay on Raw. Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke is a big name, and if you wanted to build NXT, and this is not taking anything away from Shinsuke, he can go to NXT and continue to build NXT into that big name that they are wanting to do and wanting to have over there. Shinsuke has won titles on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. He was an NXT champion at one time. So nothing over there that Shinsuke has not done. But if you want to build it and you want it to compete with whatever you may be trying to compete with, if you're trying to just make the WWE a 1, 2, 3 punch, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night shows in the wrestling world, this is how we do it. We put big names on the second card show, supposedly, and send it to the moon. Shinsuke would be a big ad. Now, the Don, Tony D'Angelo. He would be a great ad. Him and the whole family would be a great ad to Monday Night Raw. So Tony D'Angelo and the family, I do believe, could move up to Raw. Now, if you want to separate them, move Tony D'Angelo to Raw. Then stack Lorenzo to SmackDown. And then spin Crucifino, or whatever his character name is, I do apologize. Send him to SmackDown with Stax. Absolutely great idea. Send him to the SmackDown as a tag team. We've seen it work great last week on NXT. And send the Don to Raw. Make the Don the main man on Raw. And have him rejoin in a few months. Have them mix back up together and do a reunion. I think that would be great for the family, the Don, and all of that together. Now, of course, they do have an associate, but she'll be mentioned in our next video. Lexis King. I have not seen Lexis King do very much of anything on NXT. I do watch NXT, so that's not a knock at him. I just don't think he's being used properly down there at the moment because of who he is, what he done coming into the WWE. Of course, his father, he's trying to not live in his shadow. Okay, that's completely fine. So what do we do with Lexis King? Send Lexis King to SmackDown. SmackDown has a big roster, and he could find his way there in SmackDown and continue to do great things down there as well. And then maybe he could get his mid-card title run. And 2 years from now, we can see him in the main event, maybe on a pay-per-view for a title match, for World Heavyweight or the Undisputed. But do I see it happening right away? No, I think Lexis King will be a mid-carder, but he needs to come to SmackDown. Logan Paul and the United States Champion. If they're going to do a draft, titles need to switch. We also need new title looks. So Logan Paul has defended the title. He has done what he said. So let's send Logan Paul in the United States Championship to Raw and just see how he fits over there. OTM. These two right here have been a dominant force. Dominant on NXT. Them and Scripps and Jada Parker. That tag team, I don't know if you'd want to break it up at the moment, but OTM is doing great things. So we're just going to keep them on NXT to continue building them as a dominant tag team there. But don't get me wrong. They could easily move up to Raw. and do big things there against Awesome Truth and Judgment Day and Alpha Academy. They have the ability. Oh, don't sleep on OTM. They have the ability to be a surprise team if they move. Shawn Spears. He has the ability to be moved back up pretty quick, but I don't think it'll happen this time. I think we'll see Shawn Spears stay on NXT. Roman Reigns, our tribal chief. We have ran SmackDown for 3.5 years. Right at 4 years. For 1,316 consecutive days. Roman Reigns, sir, you deserve to be a free agent, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, I don't want there to be many free agents going this year. I need everyone to have a home. So, with that being said, Roman Reigns needs to come Monday Night Raw. We need to see him on the red brand doing the same type of thing he done, but whatever they want to do. Obafemi is main roster ready. Hear me again. Obafemi is main roster ready. Obafemi will go to Monday Night Raw. If he doesn't, he'll stay on NXT, but he should go to Monday Night Raw. Carmelo Hayes, he should be moved to SmackDown if they decide to move him. Now, him and Trick are still having a little bit of disagreements here and there. So we'll see where that goes and see how that ends. But he should be moved up as well. Baron Corbin, we already know that Bron Breakker is on SmackDown. I don't think they're going to change that. I think they're going to give him his run there. Baron Corbin should be in the tag team Wolf Dogs with Bron Breakker on SmackDown, starting with the draft. Dijak should get his second run on the main roster on Monday Night Raw to build on the Dijak character. Last we seen him was in Retribution. That was a hell of a flop with Mace and Mustafa Ali. So let's give him his second win, get him back on Monday Night Raw. Ilya Dragunov. We know he's going to be drafted. We know he's going somewhere. He's not going to be the one to dethrone Gunther. So with that being said, Ilya Dragunov should go to Monday Night Raw as well and start his reign as the Mad Dragon over there. No Yeet Jimmy Uso is going to be a wild card. Is he going to come back face? Is he going to come back heel still? What's going on with whatever's going on SmackDown? For the time being, we're going to leave Jimmy on SmackDown. Josh Briggs got the JBL approval. If you missed it, it happened on NXT a long time ago when he took his solo run after the tag team split. This man will be, at least should be, on SmackDown after the draft. Kevin Owens is currently on SmackDown. I don't know what you could really do here with KO at this point. He's done great everywhere. I don't know if we need to keep him on the main roster or get him on NXT for a little bit just to hypen NXT back up. But if you do this on NXT, the big names have to be seen all the time. So it doesn't need to be the performance center. It needs to go live. It needs to have a around the world tour just like everyone else. Give Kevin Owens a rundown on NXT. Nothing against him. They're trying to make it a third brand that is dominant. Kofi Kingston gets a solo run. Keep him on Monday Night Raw. Andrade just came back. He is currently on Monday Night Raw, and I don't think that will change in this year's draft. AJ Styles, I do not know if he is going to retire or continue to be a dominant wrestler in the WWE. I know he's talked about it. He's got a limited time left on his contract. So with that being said, I think we're going to see his contract come up at SmackDown. And he may go to NXT to get a fresh win under him and end his contract out there. Or he could stay on NXT and do great things. Angelo Dawkins, Street Profits. They need to be split. They need to have a solo run as well. I believe he needs to go to Raw. Cody Rhodes needs to go to SmackDown and stay. The title needs to stay there. I'm fine with him coming to both shows, showing off here recently. Go to SmackDown. Stay on SmackDown. You and Damian Priest have both the championships. Everything is good. Defending fighting champions. You're on SmackDown, Mr. Rhodes. The Awesome Truth can stay on Raw as a tag team. A-Town Down Under and stay on Raw as tag team champs. Paulito needs to get a heel run and go to Raw as fast as possible. This man right here needs a huge solo push. He needs to go to Raw and be a big caliber name there. This man has the ability. Street Profits have to be split. This is the best time to do it, Hunter. Montez Ford on Raw by himself. You heard it here first. Send Ricochet to NXT. Nothing against him. He will bring the crowd to NXT. He is the highlight reel, the human highlight reel. If he doesn't go to NXT, send him to SmackDown. I just think he needs a solo push. He's had it for a while, but I don't think Raw is where it's going to happen. The last male wrestler on the list for us, and to end your 2024 draft, the visionary, Seth freaking Rollins. This man deserves time off. This man deserves time to heal. He deserves time to rest. But is that going to happen? Probably not. It's Seth Rollins we're talking about. So if we're going to be honest with ourselves here, Seth Rollins will need to stay on Monday Night Raw and continue to build himself back up and become the visionary again, if that's what he wants to run with. He's been the Messiah. He's been the architect. He's been so many names. But I do believe Seth will have a good run when he does come officially back. Now, with that being said, that is our list for the WWE Draft. That starts at the end of April. I do believe it starts on Friday the 26th. We cannot wait to see who's drafted and who goes where. Of course, let us know in the comments what you think, where they go, when they go, and how. Of course, as always, if you want to become part of the wrestling community, all you gotta do is smack that plus button. Until next time, over and out.